everybody. So today is Sunday. That means it's time for family movie night. I'm continuing on my month-long theme of teenager movies. So this is more mature film that's not for little kids, but it's just kind of fun. So the big names that people first think of when they think of teenage movies, coming of age films, they think of John Hughes from the 80s. And a lot of people think of The Breakfast Club. Of course, that's rated R, so I'm not going to do that. But I actually don't think that's his best movie, in my opinion. I actually think the best John Hughes movie, I think you can make an argument for Ferris Bueller, really love that, but I think the best John Hughes movie about growing up and about being a teenager is Some Kind of Wonderful. I think it's very underrated, and I really, really love it, both as a romance, but also, like I said, as a coming-of-age movie. Released in 1987, and it stars Eric Stoltz as a kind of blue-collar mechanic. He likes fixing cars, and he's also a artist. He loves to paint and everything, and he has a best friend named Watts, who is played by Mary Stuart Masterson. And Watts is this sort of tomboy. She's very androgynous. He just kind of writes her off as being as just being the friend. He kind of friend zones her, and some can be mean to her because they think she's a lesbian or whatever she might be, and so they can be mean to her. She is in love with Keith, but she kind of hides it because she never feels that he will be interested in her in that way, that they'll just be friends forever. And in the meantime, Keith is in love with this girl named Amanda, who is played by Leah Thompson. One of the things I think that makes this movie special is that a character like Amanda, who in a lot of coming-of-age movies would be just sort of a one-note, popular, bratty character. In here, she's actually a really well-developed character. She is somebody that Keith sees as being a step above him as far as social standing, but actuality she's not. Like, she's from a similar home, a similar background, but she's popular and she's beautiful, and so but she is conflicted, and she is basically also like a battered woman. She is dating this guy who is just the worst ever, named Hardy, and he is just awful. Like, he's cheating right in front of her and very manipulative, and he's from the wealthy neighborhood, and so he I don't know. So I think that's part of the reason why Keith has this impression that she's sort of above him in things. And so anyway, but you have this character who is allowing herself to get abused, allowing herself to be treated this way, has conflicted feelings about a lot of things. And I think that her and Keith have pretty compelling chemistry. And I think you kind of know that he's going to end up with Watts. But I think as far as this kind of story goes, it's about as convincing that he might end up with Amanda as you could possibly make. And I don't know. I just think she's a really well-written, very well-acted character. And so I appreciate that when I appreciate the fact when they try to not just have throwaway characters. I mean, I guess her boyfriend is kind of a throwaway character, but still, the fact that I think that Amanda is such a good character is really a strength of this film. And you also see Watts just struggling so much with Keith's feelings for Amanda, and she's of course jealous, but she's also like fearful that her friend is going to get really hurt, and so that works really well. There's a really great scene where basically Watts teaches Keith how to kiss, and that's a really good, super effective scene. Also, you have Keith's dad, played by John Ashton, and I think in a lesser script, like, he would just be sort of a one-note bully kind of dad character who he just wants his son to go to college, but like he wants the best for his son, and he really thinks that him not going to college is making a huge mistake, and he's very frustrated with his son, and he says even at the end, I'm not going to let this go, I'm not going to give up on it, and that's because he loves him. And I think that his character is actually pretty well written, where a lot of times in these coming of age movies the parents are just sort of just terrible, and there's no sort of nuance or heart to them at all. Even his sister, I think, is actually pretty well written, pretty well done, and it's Maddie Corman plays his sister. Then there is also Duncan, who is looks like, I'd say he looks like he is 30 years old, but plays by Elias Codius. But he's kind of supposed to be sort of this lovable bully kind of character. Lovable, I don't know what you call him, but he's got like the leather and he's like chipping away. He's in detention, and he's like really kind of scary, but like he's kind of like a lovable biker guy kind of thing. And that him and Keith end up striking this friendship, and so that's actually really sweet and fun. And overall, this is just a really romantic, really great coming of age movie. I think it ends on just the right note. I really like how it uses music. I think it's not distracting, it just adds. There's a really cool Can't Help Falling in Love with You at the take on that at the end. It's because sometimes music can really date a film from the 80s, but this I think feels pretty relevant and pretty up to date. And it's just a really, really good movie with good characters, good writing. And so there you go. That's my thoughts on Some Kind of Wonderful. Let me know what you think of this one. And yeah, thanks so much. And we will talk to you later. And please subscribe to my channel. And thanks so much. Bye.